It was a near miss over the skies of Florida back in March when an American Airlines regional jet almost collided with an unmanned drone. It was a 50-seat jet approaching Tallahassee Airport versus something the pilot of the jet described as a camouflage F-4 fixed-wing aircraft. RT's Nicholas O'Donovan reports on the potential dangers planes face more and more as drones take off.
That drones are more and more frequent in American skies is a fact. For instance, the US law enforcement is greatly expanding its use of domestic drones for surveillance purposes. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, knows that this is a growing problem and is acting in consequence. But as it frequently happens with new technologies, or in this case, new industries, there are no specific or no tough guidelines yet. For that, we'll have to wait till September 2015 when the FAA will set the new rules for drone flying. By the way, today at the White House, Secretary of Transportation Anthony Renard Fox said that there is currently 2 active testing sites for drone flying in America. In the meantime, the FAA does have some broad rules that require anyone flying model airplanes to notify airport operators and controllers when flying within 5 miles of any airport. It's also required for recreational drone users to fly under certain safety guidelines, including that the drone remains below 400 feet. But in many cases, these rules are just not enough, and we saw this in the case of a jet that nearly collided with a drone over Florida earlier this year. The pilot of that American Airline Group regional jet told officials that on March 22nd he came dangerously close to a small, remotely piloted aircraft about 23,000 feet above the ground. And all of this happened near the Tallahassee Regional Airport here in the state of Florida. We don't exactly know what kind of drone it was, if it was a private drone, a commercial drone, or even an official one. We also don't know if it all happened within that 5-mile range that we were talking about. In other occasions, such as an incident involving a US aircraft, the pilot described sighting flying objects that were small and camouflaged, type of F-4 type fixed-wing aircraft. Anyways, the truth is that the lack of regulation and of control create dangerous situations, and those involved may never be punished. American Airlines is, although, opening an investigation about this recent incident, but it's unlikely that we have a conclusion anytime soon, because there was a similar incident back in March 2013 involving an Alitalia aircraft, and that was near the airport, the JFK airport in New York, and the FBI is still investigating that incident. The FAA has authorized more than 500 public entities, such as police departments, to fly drones in the US, but the reality is that there are many, many other drones flying out there, and they're doing so under little or no regulation at all. So to the concern expressed by many, like the ASLU, that unregulated drones are the first step towards a surveillance society, now we have to add safety as a growing issue. The bottom line is that the FAA needs to move toward regulation, and it needs to do it quickly.
That was RT's Nicholas O'Donovan.